We appeared National Defence Academy exam. I stood 7th in All India Merit. My younger brother, you all know by now, he's Colonel Mohonto Panging. In fact, just to tell you, Ranjul, you see, in most places of Air Force in India, you'll find my name or my brother's name. We used to call them Ajit.
Right.
They're a very small plane.
Right, sir.
But if you remember the 71 war, the killer brothers who shot down the Pakistan sabers, so many relight attempts did not relight the engine. So I decided it is time for us to eject. So I realized I am from Arunachal. So they might beat me thinking I am a Chinese. So when we were coming by parachute, seeing us, the chinkaras ran from below,
Right, sir.
trying to avoid our impact. That time Pakistan won the World Cup led by Imran Khan.
Okay, 92.
And they fired some 100 rounds from there.
Jai Hind, everyone. Today I'll be introducing to you a very unique guest. He's Group Captain Mohonto Panging. He's a fighter pilot. He's from Arunachal Pradesh. And he's the only one from the northeast of India to have commanded the most elite fighter squadron, that is a Sukhoi 30 squadron of the Indian Air Force. I felt it is my duty to introduce him to all of you. Sukhoi 30 squadron is considered as the tip of the spear of the Indian air power. I'll be covering this podcast in 2 episodes. So let's hear from him today how a kid from a remote town of Arunachal Pradesh went on to lead the most renowned, the most sophisticated, and the most feared fighter squadrons of India. Jai Hind, everyone, and Jai Hind, sir.
Jai Hind.
Sir, you need no introduction for the people of the Indian Air Force, and in fact the people of the Indian Armed Forces. But our viewers, June Sarok Nejane, Sir, Group Captain Mohonto Panging Pao, sir. And মই বহুত গৰ্বৰে ক'ব বিচাৰিছোঁ, he is the only pilot from the northeast of India to have commanded the elite Sukhoi 30 squadron of the Indian Air Force based in Pune. He is from Arunachal, and also it gives me immense pride. So he has roots also in Assam. Welcome, sir, once again.
Thank you so much.
Sir, before getting into your background, I just wanted to know from you, sir, what does one needs to have to become a fighter pilot in the Indian Air Force? The context which I want to give is that if you take all the branches of the 3 services, Army, Navy, Air Force, on one spectrum, if you keep the elite special forces or the Marcos or the Garuds of the Indian Air Force, I think we can draw a parallel to the submariners of the Indian Navy and also the pilots of the Indian Air Force, especially the fighter pilots. I want to know your opinion on that, sir.
That's an excellent question. To be the elite of the elite, you have to be the best of best in your country, in your peer group, in your schools, in your colleges, and your societies.
Right, sir.
Only the best of best can become the elite, like the fighter pilots, like the special forces, like the submariners. They live on the edge.
Absolutely.
They are in the cutting edge of technology, and they are the warriors which will save the nation when the need arises.
Absolutely.
And you have to have super fast reactions, you have to be intelligent, your synchromotor relationship has to be very good, you have to be good in studies, you have to be good in sports, you have to be good in everything that you do.
Right, sir.
And only the best of best can become these elite forces like fighter pilots.
Thank you, sir. Now coming to your background, sir. Apuni Pasighator, one of the easternmost town of India. Yarpa uthi goe, apni, how did NDA happen? How did Air Force happen? Can you give a brief on your background, your parents, your schooling? Please, sir.
See, we belong to very humble background.
Right, sir.
Actual, our village is called Namsing in Mebo subdivision.
Okay, sir.
It is around 55 kilometers from Pasighat.
Right, sir.
So those days when we studied and up to becoming an officer,
Right, sir.
we used to walk from our village.
Right, sir.
It used to take 1 day to walk.
Right, sir.
There were no bridges, there were no roads. We had to cross 5-6 rivers and streams. and almost up to neck deep water.
Right, sir.
In some occasions, we had to swim across.
Right, sir.
And then we used to come to this oldest town of Arunachal Pradesh called Pasighat.
Right, sir.
So, initially, studies we did in Pasighat and villages around Pasighat
Right, sir.
before I joined Sainik School.
Sainik.
So, what is my connection with Assam is that my mother is a Gogoi. She is an Assamese
Okay,
from Dibrugarh.
Hi, sir.
And also she was a teacher.
Right, sir.
And she is primarily responsible for making all of us what we are today.
Okay, sir.
And also, I had this good fortune of studying in Sainik School, Gwalpara, Assam.
Okay, sir.
So I studied from class 6 to class 11th.
Okay.
In fact, some part of 12 also, but we didn't appear the 12th exam because we joined NDA.
Okay, sir.
Those days, to join NDA, you had to be class 11 pass.
Acha.
So we came from a very humble background, and no one in the defense forces, we didn't have a rough idea of what it is like.
Right, sir.
We are remotely connected to flying, and leave aside fighter flying. এইবোৰ বস্তু আমাৰ সপোনত অহা নিচিনা কথা আছিলে
Right.
তে we used to call this plane as চিৰিয়া গাড়ী or pattang gadi in our language.
Right, sir.
Because it was so remote, we used to think, superhumans are flying these planes and maybe some aliens are flying these planes, and we had no idea of what flying is all about.
Right, sir.
And defense forces are all about. So we are very few from Northeast in the armed forces. In fact, when I joined NDA, we can count people from Northeast in our fingers.
Yeah, absolutely, sir.
And many times, many of them are friends and colleagues in National Defense Academy also used to think that we are from some foreign country.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
The realization that even Mongoloids are part of our diverse nation, great nation of Bharat.
Right, sir.
Those days, exposure was less.
Absolutely.
So we belong to a very humble background. We worked hard, and sometimes I feel that we had good fortune and good luck also, and that guided us towards this.
Right, sir.
And you are aware that in Sainik School it is compulsory to appear for National Defense Academy exam.
Yes, sir.
So we appeared National Defense Academy exam. I did very well in that exam. I stood 7th in All India Merit.
Okay, sir.
In the All India exam, and all courtesy my background of education in Pasighat and nearby villages, the Sainik School, my teachers, my principals, my colleagues, my family members who supported us all through.
Right, sir.
And that is how we came across.
Right, sir. Sir, actually, recently I also heard about the podcast of Mohonto sir, your brother. So, did you both join Sainik School Gwalpara?
Wow, that podcast was very good.
Absolutely, sir.
And thanks to Colonel Kashyap, he's brought it up so nicely. And I think very nicely it has got a lot of views.
Absolutely,
and,
sir.
My younger brother, you all know by now, he's Colonel Mohonto Panging.
Absolutely, sir.
Sena Medal Bar.
Right, sir.
So he followed, he is 3 courses junior to me.
Okay, sir.
By age, he's around 1 year, 3 months junior to me.
Right, sir.
And since I went to Sainik School, he followed me.
Okay.
But the only difference was those days, most from Arunachal used to join Sainik School Imphal.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So he is a product of Sainik School Imphal.
Okay.
And he joined the Indian Army.
Right, sir.
And he has done very well. You all know about him.
Absolutely, sir.
And we also have a third brother.
Okay, sir.
Who is presently the Chief Operations Officer of Bogeyville Gas Cracker Plant.
Okay.
He is originally from GAIL, Gas Authority of India Limited.
Right, sir.
So people used to jokingly say that if he had joined the Navy, then we would have, all 3 brothers in the Army, Navy and Air Force, as has happened with us.
Right.
So that way we are lucky that I had one more brother in the armed forces.
Right, sir.
And a lot of views shared, and a lot of, we share the same kind of likes, dislikes, ideology, thought process.
Okay, sir.
Patriotism
Right,
also.
Sir. Right, sir.
Maybe I am also highly patriotic, and maybe my brother is more patriotic than me, what I feel like, the kind of achievements he had.
Right. But how did you decide? Did you know about Air Force from before? Like, how did he decide on Army and you decided on Air Force?
Actually, speaking, I wanted to go to Varanasi and see that town.
Oh,
So when we fill up the NDA National Defence Academy entrance form,
right, sir.
so there you have to put a choice of your service.
Right, sir.
And we came to know that Varanasi has got a Air Force Center,
Okay.
SSB Center.
Yeah, I also went to the same center, sir.
Services Selection Board. So I choose Air Force because I wanted to go to Varanasi. So I took Air Force as my first choice.
Right, sir.
In fact, my brother was also Air Force cadet,
Okay, sir.
Air Force Opti. He also went to Varanasi only,
Right,
SSB. He later changed over to Army in National Defence Academy
Okay, sir.
in the 4th term.
Right, sir.
So that is how I cleared the SSB in one go.
Right, sir.
And like I told you, I was very high in merit.
Right, sir.
So thereafter, we went for medicals to Air Force Central Medical Establishment, Subrata Park, New Delhi. And after clearing, we joined NDA. And in NDA, you know that National Defence Academy, tri-service, we train together
Right, sir.
up to the 5th semester. And in the 6th semester, we diversify into our own
Right, sir.
branches, and then we start gliding and Air Force subject starts. So that way, there is not a dream, but my father always encouraged me and guided me and showed me that you must become a pilot and a fighter pilot. He also encouraged us to be the best of the best.
Right,
And
sir.
in fact, there's a big role played by both our parents.
Right, sir.
And there was a feeling inside us that we are no less than anyone.
Absolutely.
And why should I let my own state down, my own town down, and my own village down? And there was a feeling always to work hard and excel.
Right, sir.
And not to lose to anyone else, not to come second. That was the feeling we had. And we worked very hard towards that. In fact, to Sadiq school, when I was in class 6, I must be 11 years old. I used to travel alone from Pasighat to Gwalpara.
Yes.
All the way, take a ferry, Oiramghat to Dibrugarh, 8 hours by ferry. An 11-year-old boy, no mobile those days, no plastic water bottles. And from Dibrugarh, take a night super bus, go to Guwahati, Paltan Bazar.
At 11 years.
At 11 years of age. From Paltan Bazar, take a rickshaw, go to Maskua bus station and take a bus to Mornoi, where Sunny School Walpara was.
Yeah.
So our parents used to give us that kind of liberty also and to decision. In fact, my father used to tell me when I used to travel alone in class 6 that if you get confused or get lost, go to a police station and report that you are missing and give your name. And that is the environment we live. And we did lot of cars. We never, like example, like simple thing like meat.
Right.
Rarely used to eat meat because those days we didn't have access.
Right, sir.
And easily meat was not found.
Okay, sir.
So wherever there used to be meat, we always used to clamor for a piece of meat, those kind of things. It was different, and we used to study under that kerosene lantern.
Absolutely, sir.
Because light was very erratic.
Right, sir.
And whatever we had to achieve was study during the day when the daylight is there, all else study in the dim light of the lantern.
Right, sir.
That is how we all came up.
This made you extremely independent. I can't even imagine, sir, at 11-year-old. And I think Imphal used to be even more tedious, reaching Imphal from Pasighat for your brothers.
Absolutely. And Imphal, those days, there were no flights. Then you had to go from here to Guwahati, go to Dimapur, and from there again go to Imphal.
Absolutely.
Even reaching Gwalpara. So we used to imagine sometimes why these scenic schools or defense establishments are located in so remote areas.
Right, sir.
God-forsaken places, these places were remote, and nearby towns were very far away.
Right.
For our case, Gwalpara town was around 20-25 kilometers away.
Okay, sir.
So those are the environments, and many times you'll find that defense establishments and scenic schools are located in remote areas.
Absolutely.
I don't know whether it's a government policy that dictates it.
Right, sir.
But that has got its own charm also and fun also.
Absolutely.
To be groomed at a place outside main cities and main towns.
Right, sir.
It has its own charm.
But I think at that point of time, these scenic school must have given you a different kind of an exposure and different kind of an confidence to join the armed forces, sir.
Absolutely. Sunny School was actually, I'm very proud of the fact that I am from Sunny School. I'm a Sunny School product and I'm from Sunny School, Gwalpara. So whatever discipline in us and that perseverance, that sincerity, work hard to excel, all have been given to us by this school. And we have fantastic set of teachers, fantastic set of principals, headmasters and registers, and fantastic set of colleagues and friends.
Right.
Till today, after 35 years of passing out also, we are good friends, all our classmates. And we carry such fond memories, we connect with each other. So today, because of Sainik School, I have friends all over in Assam.
Yes.
Wherever I go,
Absolutely.
I have my friends, and in fact, even some friends in my senior classes and my junior classes, and we connect very well. And people from Sainik School, let me point out, not everyone joins the defense forces.
Right, sir.
But they are doing very well outside wherever they go.
Absolutely, sir.
Some are doctors, some are engineers, some are entrepreneurs, some are journalists. Some are they are doing well for themselves.
Right. And which squadron were you, sir, in NDA?
In NDA, during our time, you see, the NDA wing was a separate entity. It was in Gorpuri.
Right, sir.
So we used to spend the first semester there. And the second semester only we used to come to the main campus in Khadakwasla.
Right, sir.
And my squadron was announced as Hunter Squad.
Right, sir.
And you know, Hunter Squad was one of the toughest squadrons.
I know, sir.
And it was very demanding, physically demanding, mentally demanding.
Right.
And life was very tough.
Right.
And it was so tough that in our second semester, half the time we were planning to run away.
Right.
But I always used to keep postponing, कि कल भागूंगा. So tomorrow never came, and then if others can do, I can also do like that.
Right, sir.
So we didn't get time to sleep. खाने को देते नहीं थे लोग, and they used to keep us busy all through.
Right, sir.
And life was very tough, especially in second term in National Defense Academy in Hunter Squad. But then after the second term went through, then we slowly started adjusting.
Right, sir.
And then started doing well in almost all the fields. And that way a background of Sainik School helped.
Right, sir.
So because we already were doing PT parade, where we had to compulsorily pass our test.
Right, sir.
In the physical training test and in drill test.
Sure.
We used to manage it in this, comes to swimming test and horse riding and all these kind of issues. So thereafter, in my fifth semester, I got shifted to Foxtrot Squad.
In fifth semester you used to go?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know
So
that.
there was a reshuffle of the high merit cadets. So it appears I was doing quite okay.
Absolutely.
So I changed over to Foxtrot Squad, and in my fifth and sixth semester I spent in Foxtrot.
Right, sir.
I passed out as the Battalion Cadet Adjutant, BCA of number 2 Battalion from Foxtrot Squad.
Right, sir.
And I enjoyed, NDA was definitely a very good experience, and lucky to have been to be an ex-NDA.
Right.
And gone through one of the toughest squads of India, Hunter Squad, and thereafter pass out from Foxtrot, which is also a very good squad. And I have a lot of colleagues and friends who are my lifelong friends,
That's it.
especially in Hunter and Foxtrot Squad.
What about your brother, sir? He was in which squad?
My brother joined me 3 semesters later.
Right, sir.
He's 3 semesters juniors to me. I was from 75th NDA. He's from 70th NDA. So, in fact, I took him along with me.
Right, sir.
So there is a famous joke. So my brother used to say that I'll go to NDA and show doubts. That means I'll occasionally disobey orders.
He never used to get punishment, I'm sure, sir. Your course mates, entire course used to be his pals, sir.
No, NDA sorts out everyone. There are no shortcuts in NDA. So I used to tell him that you will get sorted out in NDA.
Right, sir.
So he used to say his philosophy was that I'll show doubts, then I'll get punishment, then I'll become tough. So his aim was to actually become tough.
Okay.
And like that, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
We all know him, sir.
It was like that. So I told him in NDA will sort you out in just few days. So that is how National Defense. So he got Bravo Squad.
Right, sir.
And like you said, in Bravo Squad, all my coursemates became his pals. What we call in National Defense Academy,
NDA,
pals. Don't call me sir.
Absolutely, sir.
So that is how he went through. And in fact, he did better than me in NDA.
Okay.
He was a torchy, and he was blue, half blue in 4 disciplines.
Okay, sir.
And he also passed out as the Battalion Cadet Adjutant.
Okay.
And both our brothers' names are there in the cadets mess in National Defense Academy.
Okay, sir.
In fact, just to tell you, Ranjul, you see, in most places of Air Force in India, you'll find my name or my brother's name.
Absolutely, sir. And in fact, so the entire Northeast should know both of you, sir. And it feels great that we can do something to get people to know you, both of the brothers, sir.
So nice of you that you are bringing up this in the public domain,
Right, sir.
where people know what is going on and what is possible.
Right, sir. So I also want to know, sir, after NDA, if you can go through your flying training, sir.
Oh, that's a good question. Actually, in NDA, we started gliding.
Right.
But because
Ardhra
of...
gliding?
Yes, Ardhra glider.
okay.
It used to be pulled by a vehicle from the ground
I
and then
know
it would be launched in the air.
Sir.
And we had instructors, but unfortunately for us, there was an accident some few courses before us.
Okay.
And because of that, they stopped sending people on solo.
Okay.
So glider was just flying with the instructor and learning and initial steps of the toddler steps of flying.
Understood, sir.
Gliding.
That's
Though sometimes I realize that gliding may be difficult because you are flying the plane without any engine.
And for such a short span, sir.
And such a short span and based on just the winds and the atmospheric conditions.
Right, sir.
So it could have been a tougher proposition. But during our term, solo was not permitted. But we went through that flying and then came to Air Force Academy, Hyderabad, Dundigal.
Dundigal.
So there we came and to start flying on Kiran Mark 1s.
No HPT, sir?
No HPT. HPTs those days used to be flown in Allahabad, BFTS Allahabad.
Okay.
So we had the basic flying stage in. So initially you come and do your MCF. That means the theoretical aspects of the aircraft, learning about the aircraft. And then you go on to ground training.
Right.
And then you graduate onto flying.
Right, sir.
So see, I was very apprehensive about flying because we had never seen a plane in our lives.
Sir.
And I was scared to touch the plane, in fact. And a lot of our colleagues, my course mates, few of them had flown also and come in flying clubs and they have flown in NCC.
Okay.
And they had come there. So we used to listen to their stories. So when we started flying training, then in our times, in the 25th sortie,
right, sir,
on Kiran Mark 1 used to go for solo check.
So it is quite a jump, sir, from Ardhra just flying to Kiran.
Right.
It's
It's quite a jump.
Quite a jump.
And directly going to a jet engine.
Jet engine, sir. It's quite
Kiran Mark 1 was a jet engine.
Right, sir.
And so I had very nice instructors. We had with me Squadron Gaitonde was my first instructor, flying instructor, followed by Squadron Lal, Ashok Lal. Both were actually Mirage background.
Right, sir.
So we started learning flying, and in the solo check in the 25th sortie, I flew with some other instructor and he told me that you are fit to go solo. So
first time,
the first milestone.
And you cleared solo in the first attempt itself.
Yes.
That's a big deal, sir.
So in the first milestone is going solo.
Right, sir.
Now it is very easy for the instructor to say you go alone and fly and come back. But flying alone without the instructor sitting behind you are very apprehensive and डर लगता है.
Absolutely.
कि आहियो पारिने ना
आहियो.
So what we keep wishing happy landings. So went through the solo. Then it is followed by another duel and carried on.
Right.
But somehow we are still apprehensive ki how is my performance. There are doubts as to others are doing much better than you. There are people from Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata, all of them your colleagues.
Right, sir.
So you are very underconfident and weak. So in between our flying training, there was this midterm test.
Okay, sir.
Like you have these half-yearly exams.
No, absolutely.
Something like that.
Right, sir.
So in the midterm test, when the marks came out, I was the first. So I got, perplexed. What is this, yaar? I got elated also.
Right, sir.
Excited also.
Yeah.
That I was getting the highest marks in flying.
And others may be even more surprised.
So you see, I used to listen to the stories with my... I used to gape at their stories and how they can do this. And many of them used to claim I did a loop, I did a barrel roll, I did that maneuver. And when the marks came out, then I realized that I am at par with them.
Right, sir.
And in fact, I'm better than them.
Sir.
And my colleagues. And coming from, Namsing village, Mahabo, Pasighat, Arunachal and going there.
Right, sir.
Performing. Then we kept flying and in the final test, we were 4 of our cadets who were chosen to fly the trophy check.
Oh, okay.
with the chief instructor.
Right, sir.
Best
in flying.
Best in flying trophy.
Right, sir.
And 4 of us flew. And I got that trophy. I got the best in flying. And that is how the first milestone, and then you try to maintain it.
Right, sir.
So because to come first in a class is sometimes easy.
Right.
But to maintain it and always come first in the class.
Right, sir.
So that is the challenge. So that is when we realized that it's okay. We are also good in flying. It is not all that bad.
Right, sir.
That means among my course, I was the one who took the trophy of best in flying. And from there, went to Air Force Station Bidar. Bidar is in North Karnataka.
Yes.
And so we did our advanced flying in Kiran Mark II.
Right, sir.
So it's a Kiran only. These are all indigenously built by India.
Absolutely.
Hindustan Aeronautics Limited.
Right.
And Mark II had a slightly different engine.
Right.
And slightly different handling characteristics.
Better handling, sir. Right.
And being the best in flying in my basic stage, I was the first one to start flying in Kiran Mark II also.
Right.
So again, I had a good tenure there. In Bidar, I took the best all-round medal.
Right.
And finally, I passed out quite high in merit. I passed out 9th in order of merit.
Right.
And then I got commissioned into fighters. Now, when we finished our training those days, basic and advanced, and then finally we passed out from Air Force Station
Air Force Academy, sir?
Dundigal, Air Force Academy Dundigal.
Right.
So there's a trifurcation board.
Right, sir.
So it depends on your choice, whether you want to join fighters, transport or helicopters.
Right, sir.
And then instructor's recommendation.
Right, sir.
And your performance, of course, your merit.
Yes, sir.
So the trifurcation board was held, and when I joined the Air Marshal, there was an Air Marshal sitting there in the board. He straight away asked me, will you fly Jaguars? Now, I was a cadet. I didn't have much knowledge of what the vagaries of fighter flying was.
Right, sir.
So I told him I had no problems.
Sir.
And that's how we were posted to OCU, Operational Conversion Unit.
Right, sir.
Which was located in Kalaikonda.
Sir, I am also from OCU, sir. We did it from Tejpur.
Oh, I think OCU shifted. During our time, it came with the last course in OCU.
Right, sir.
Operation Conversion. Later, it changed over to Tezpur.
Yeah, sir.
In the MOF route.
MOF 2 also, sir. Yeah. Our course used to fly MiG-21s after Kiran Mark IIs. So, did you also fly the same aircraft?
Oh, I always, thought I'll get to fly the MiG-21.
Right, sir.
Because MiG-20 was based in East.
Right, sir.
And maybe bring me nearer home.
Right, sir.
Because they were based in Tezpur. But I was allotted to fly Hunters in OCU, located in Kalaikonda. Kalaikonda is located near Kharagpur.
Right, sir.
Where the IIT is there. And Hawker Hunter, the plane used to be called. It was made in UK. We had the last course in OCU to fly Hunters.
Right, sir.
And in fact, it's a very comical combination. We had instructors, we were all senior wing commanders.
Right, sir.
And we were a bunch of around cadets.
Right, sir.
Flying the Hunters, including a few of my colleagues were from the Navy.
Okay, sir.
They were officers.
Right, sir.
And Hunter was a very lovely aircraft to fly. It is decommissioned now. But Hunters is the lovely aircraft for aerobatics.
Okay, sir.
And in Hunter was the plane who has to, reduce power to do aerobatics.
Okay.
Though there was no afterburner in Hunters.
Right, sir.
And next to us, located in OCU, was the 2 Squadron, which used to fly the famous net.
Oh.
That we used to call them Ajit.
Right, sir.
They're a very small plane.
Right, sir.
But if you remember the 71 war, the killer brothers who shot down the Pakistan sabers with nets.
Yes.
And one peculiar thing about nets was there were no trainer for nets.
Okay.
So for instrument flying and other kind of sorties, they used to use the Hunter trainer. Whereas with totally different aircraft.
Means how did you train, sir? How did they train in NAT?
So they used to be, there was no twin-seater, so they used to be trained on Hunter's few sorties. And in the fighter aircraft single-seaters, somebody used to push the tail down.
Right, sir.
And show them this is the attitude for takeoff and landing. And they have to stand like that.
Solo, sir.
Solo like that. So it is a very fine experience. In fact, in OCU, I took the first in order of merit, best in flying.
So you are always first everywhere, sir.
So I was very lucky enough that I did well. But I did well. I took many trophies, but I know that I have worked hard.
No, absolutely, sir.
So I burned the midnight oil and
sir.
tried not to come second easily. And also in Hunters, I had my first ejection.
Okay, sir.
So in my fourth solo in Hunter, when flying over, there's a place called Kolaghat. Kolaghat is between Kharagpur and Kolkata.
Okay, sir.
So there my engine flamed out.
Okay, sir.
So first of all, I could not believe it.
Right,
That it can happen to me. So you know it, the RPM and the JPT keeps winding down.
Right, sir.
The RPM is the revolutions per minute and the jet pipe temperature.
Sir.
When they start reducing suddenly without any reason, that means there's something wrong.
Right, sir.
And so there is a small sound like tush, and they started winding down.
Right.
So first of all, you don't believe it. So the instant reaction is to open power throttle
Sir.
from the left hand to
what
one
height
and
you
try
were
to
in?
curb it. I was at around 22,000 feet
Okay.
and doing solo aerobatics.
Okay.
So doing loops and barrel loads, and suddenly this happened.
Sir.
And then shock hits you. You go into shock, a state of shock, and time contraction happens. There is some phenomena in fighter flying that is beyond normal life. So what a human being experiences on normal life, there are certain phenomena which is beyond normal life which you experience during fighter flying. Some of them I'll narrate to you. One of them is that time contraction and time expansion.
Sir.
So when you get into shock, time starts moving very slowly. You feel as if it is eternity. এনেকুৱা লাগে যে সময় ৰখি গ'ল. So 10 minutes to 1 ঘণ্টা নিচিনা লাগে. So time expands. So you get into shock, and question of faith and destiny, it can't happen to me.
Sir.
It can happen to somebody else, not to me.
Right, sir.
So এনেকুৱা feeling আহে. So then I recovered from that shock. It may have lasted for a few seconds.
Sir.
Which felt like, a lot of...
Very straight in level during the...
No, my aircraft was in the process of climb and I had lost all my instruments. I went into shock. And then when I recovered, I was very cool. My aircraft, I put her in a glide.
Sir.
And turned towards my base, which is Kalaikonda. So actually there are two towns, Kharagpur and Midnapur. They're twin towns.
Understood.
So towards my base. So I put her in a glide because I lost an engine.
Sir.
So there was no power.
Sir.
So I put her in a glide, and then I gave a call on radio to my base that I have lost the engine.
Sir.
The engine is flamed out.
Right.
And there was no response.
Right.
So I thought then I'll have to, die or eject also without a radio contact, without anyone coming to know.
Sir.
So then I gave a second call. So immediately, you see, people don't realize something wrong can happen. So we have a senior pilot sitting there in the tower,
Sir.
air traffic control, to help people like us who are flying. So he asked me, confirm flame out. He could not believe in himself. So it is a reconfirmation.
Right, sir.
So I started to restart the aircraft. We have a process of relight in the air.
Sir.
So I started that attempt of relight. So 3 attempts I did. Then, for the controls, the Hunter said powered controls. This is one of the few old aircraft,
Sir.
which had power control. Like you have power steering in nowadays vehicles,
Sir.
which makes it...
So that also failed? No.
So that came on manual. Then after that, fire warning light came on.
Sir.
Then since so many relight attempts did not relight the engine, so I decided it is time for me to eject.
Right.
So then I saw these twin towns, this Kharagpur and Midnapur.
Sir, just a minute. I want to explain to our viewers. So although you are explaining the entire process taking so much time, so these must have happened in a matter of very, very few seconds when you had to decide finally that you have to eject.
Correct.
Right.
So actually your cockpit becomes your home, your second home.
Sir.
You become so comfortable that you don't want to leave your home. Who wants to leave your home?
Sir.
So ejection is an option which people avoid. So no one wants to do. You feel that ho jayega thik.
Absolutely.
Eto bhal hoi jabo, engine to thik hoi jabo, aru moi land kori dim. Eneko mane bhabona ahi thake monot.
Right, sir.
Mane it will become okay. You feel like that.
Right.
So I also hope, against hope that the engine will rev up again, it will restart, and then I'll be able to land it.
Sir.
But somehow multiple warnings were coming on.
Right, sir.
So I saw these twin towns in front of me.
Sir.
So I decided to eject. So I turned right.
Right, sir.
I was slightly far from base, not yet reached.
Right.
So at a height of around 11,000 feet.
Sir.
So in Hunters, we had two ejection handles, unlike other aircraft.
Okay, sir.
So one was in between your legs,
Right,
and the other one was on top of your helmet.
Okay.
So it is called face blind handle.
Right, sir.
So I decided to eject, and so I put the aircraft on a direction away from the population,
Sir.
towns and cities. And the day was 31st of March,
Right,
1990.
Your birthday again means your like in Air Force, your birthday.
That is my second birthday.
Right, sir.
31st of March 1990, the last day of the financial year.
Right.
It was a Saturday. So I decided to eject. So, on the rear view mirrors, we have in the cockpit rear view mirrors.
Right.
I could see my own hand holding the handles.
Sir.
And then I pulled the handle,
Right.
and suddenly
You can pull any one of them. Like,
any one of them.
okay, this also, this also.
Yes, you have to put in a correct your ejection seat posture,
Sir.
sitting posture, and then pull the handle.
Right.
So suddenly what happens, the first glass canopy on top, it is blown away. All this happens in microseconds.
Microseconds.
And then it is blasted and the airflow takes it.
Right, sir.
Then there are rockets underneath your seat.
Sir.
A rocket will fire ho jaye.
Yeah.
And then in split second, you and your seat, ejection seat, hey, to uppar pelai diye ekebare.
At almost 40 Gs and...
At 30, 40 G, they throw you out at the height to a height of 100 feet.
Right, sir.
100 feet botaut uthai apna pelai dibo.
Right.
And you go unconscious during that time.
Okay.
So you lose consciousness and then you are tumbling through the air. Botaut apni guri ase. So suddenly a small parachute opens. It's called the drogue parachute.
Sir.
And then it pulls out the main parachute.
Right, sir.
और अपनी ejection seat to बेलेग हो जाए, पड़ी जाए ejection seat to, और below, extremely below, actually to cater for falling into a river
Sir.
or an ocean is the dinghy.
Right, sir.
So first is the dinghy falling below,
Right,
and
sir.
then is their personal survival pack,
Okay.
PSP we call,
Sir.
where there are small equipment. It is a small packet where you have some water, some fuel cake, some chocolates, a torch, a flare gun, a signaling mirror, things like that are there, so that you can survive in a jungle or in a desert or in a ocean
Right, sir.
if you happen to eject
Right, sir.
for at least few days
Few days.
till rescue arrives
Right.
to bring you back. So this is called a personal survival pack. So dinghy, above that the personal survival pack, 15 feet above. Above that is the pilot,
Sir.
B,
Sir.
and then above that the parachute, the main parachute.
Right.
So when the parachute opened, it was so nice and windy and you were rotating in the air under the parachute. I looked up, I saw multicolored parachute on top. So first thing I held my straps very tightly. So because the guy who ejected before me, the pilot, he died
Okay.
because his parachute left the body.
Okay, sir.
So I held it very tight so that this doesn't happen. And there's a funny anecdote associated with it, 2-3 of them, that we had a commanding officer who was, he used to believe in yoga and meditation and mantras.
Right, sir.
So he had given us a mantra, what he used to call as a Mrityur Muksya mantra.
Right, sir.
And he had, photocopied and given to us. You read it. He said that if you read it 21 times,
Right.
that you will not die of accidental death. And since we are cadets in an impressible age, in a pilot officers, so we used to sometimes read it.
Right.
So that day I had not read. So after the parachute opened, I was reading the mantra, whatever I could recollect of that mantra, and then held the strap. And it is so nice. And I had ejected normal parajumpers.
Right, sir.
They jump from 1200 feet.
Sir.
So I had that 12,000 feet I had ejected. So the earth is so beautiful. The kheti bilag, horu kheti bilag, they look like small matchboxes. You can hear some sound, very distant.
Right, sir.
Your plane has fallen somewhere
Right, sir.
because after the pilot is gone, the plane is pilotless.
Wow.
And the air is swinging, you are swinging like a pendulum.
I'm getting it.
So then you start crazy thoughts, what will I do? So I realized I am from Arunachal. So they might beat me thinking I am a Chinese after I land on the ground.
Okay, sir.
So survival instincts are taking over. So what should I do? So I said, okay, let me run after I land. But then you see, for ejection, they don't teach you landing technique and all this.
Right, sir.
And it is not a maneuverable parachute like a skydiver,
Sir.
where you can maneuver.
Yes.
Even with the parachute, you are falling like a stone actually.
Yeah.
So, and air burns you. Air is got friction.
Sir.
So, in fact, in that, I still carry that cut. My overall jib cut my chest during the process of my ejection. There was a little bleeding. So we were making plans, and you know, West Bengal area, so many small ponds.
Sir.
When you're coming from the parachute, you're looking down, and you're getting a feeling you might fall into a pond also. So if you fall into water, there is a different escape procedure.
Sir.
Because if you fall with the parachute into the water, then you will entangle in the so many ropes of that parachute, and you'll die, you'll drown.
Right, sir.
So that parachute, I'm not sure where are you falling. And finally, when you come near Mother Earth,
sir,
the Earth is rushing forward to meet you like a stone.
Sir.
You're falling like a stone.
Sir.
Even with the parachute.
Yes, sir.
And ऐसा लगता है कि 100% fracture होगा.
Because it's a small parachute, it's not like a glider's parachute.
And मतलब लगता है कि fracture तो होना ही है, जिस तरह से गिर रहे पत्थर की तरह.
Sir.
So luckily for me, I fell into a pani kheti. Into a mud field.
Right.
And I fell on my back like this with the parachute hanging. And my right shoulder was dislocated. And what I had originally made plans to run, some 300 locals were surrounding or looking down on me. They all saw the parachute and ran towards me. So where to run?
Right, sir.
So
did they help you?
I took my arms out, and first thing I told them, listen, আমাদের মা বাংলা আমাকে কিছু করবে না. My mother, though she was Assamese, I said, because Assamese and Bengali is similar. So আমাদের মা বাংলা আমাকে কিছু করবে না.
Right, sir.
So they, lifted me up from the water. Luckily, I had no fractures, nothing. I was able to walk. Right. So they took me out of the pani kheti and fields and put me on dry ground.
Sir.
Then they formed a circle around me like this.
Right, sir.
And hand-holding circle. Somebody brought out a handheld fan.
Sir.
Local fan, where they started giving air to me. That is where again time contraction takes place. So there again you feel the time is moving very slowly. And I must have sat there for 10-15 minutes. It felt like as if 1 hour. So somebody said, Jol khaben, Jol. So I said, give me the water. Do you want to have water? So I don't know from where, in middle of the fields, somebody brought water. Then I sipped that water. Then suddenly one of that local who was surrounding us told us that I am that panchayat of that village.
Sir.
So you please come with me. The other people are not good.
Sir.
I said, okay. So I got up to go with that local villagers. So when I got up, suddenly everyone became panchayat. I am also panchayat, panchayat.
And when did help come?
So they are now pushing me, no, you come with me, come with me. I am already under shock.
Sir.
So I said, no, I am not going with anyone. I again sat down on the dry land. Again they formed a circle around me. Again they started, fanning me with the local fan. Then somebody said, what I felt like a long time, that somebody said police.
Okay.
Then I thought, in the middle of the fields, from where police will come? So it was the helicopter.
Right, sir.
So it was the Indian Air Force helicopter which has come to search for me, look for the location and pick me up. So when the helicopter came, I realized it has come to pick me up. Sir. And by the time, a lot of crowd had collected inside the field, some maybe 500 to 1,000.
Sir.
So they were also scared looking at the crowd below. What is going to happen? So I started walking towards the helicopter when the whole crowd is walking with me. So then I told them, listen, I had to signal the helicopter.
Sir.
So you don't come with me. So helicopter suddenly hovered. So my ejection seat, parachute, all were left like that because they were also not sure of what is happening.
Sir.
So I got into the helicopter. And actually the worst part is this, that how will that guy pilot who is ejected come back dead fractured body, paralyzed,
Sir.
or okay.
Sir.
So there's the first time the news is broken on the radio that pilot is okay.
Right, sir.
So I got into the helicopter. They brought me back to base.
Sir.
In the base, all the top brass, our air officer commanding, the chief operations officer, all of them, my colleagues, my friends,
Sir.
all of them have collected to see me arrive in the helicopter. So those days we were young. They brought me out of the helicopter, put me on a stretcher.
Sir.
And then I used to smoke those days.
Right, sir.
So I told them, give me a cigarette. When you get super excited,
Right, sir.
you want to have this puff.
Right, sir.
So I asked for a cigarette. So suddenly the doctor, the aviation medicine specialist,
No.
he says, no smoking. So one of my colleagues gave it to him.
Right, sir.
He says, doctor, he's just gone through, life and death. Give him. So somebody lit a cigarette for me.
Right.
Then the safety officer came. He asked certain questions, what happened,
Right.
like that. So again, one of my colleagues gave it to him. He says, you ask these questions later. First, let him go to a hospital.
Right, sir.
So then I went to military hospital, Kalaikunda.
Sir.
So there they took a set of X-rays. I was walking, I was fit, there is no problem.
Sir.
And then after a set of X-rays was taken, I was put on the hospital bed.
Sir.
And there, propped up, I stood there and I started getting visitors. This was around 2:30 in the afternoon.
Sir.
And from 2:30, visitors started coming.
And you were all fine, no problems?
No problem.
Okay.
Visitors started coming with bouquet, with cakes. And like you said, they say that it is a new birthday.
New birthday, sir. In Air Force.
So
sir.
people came with bouquet, flower, cards, like that. And some who came in the afternoon came in the night again. Some who came in the evening came in late night. And this circle continued.
You also get to keep the ejection seat, sir. Do you have it?
But because I told you that because it was left in the fields.
Okay.
Because of that, too many people.
Too many, they couldn't.
Like that.
What was that 3 seconds, sir? Like you said, you were unconscious. Do you remember anything what happens that time? That unconscious you were, you said.
Yes. And let me cover this hospital part.
Right, sir.
So, at 11 p.m. or so, this all people who came to visit me and wish me the happy birthday, somebody cutting a cake, they went back.
Sir.
And at 11 p.m. when I was alone, that is when fear hits you. That is when you start, oh shit, I just went through a life and death situation. Okay. And what could have happened? And what would have been the repercussions? And then the strain also hits you because you have just been exposed to 30, 40 G.
Right, sir.
And you are sitting propped up on the bed like that with visitors coming one by one. They're all well-wishers.
Right, sir.
But sometimes I feel maybe, they're disturbing you because what kind of stress you had on your backbone, on your spinal cord, we don't know what kind. But then when you are alone, when everyone is left, that is when this question of life and death, of destiny, of fate, why me, my you, this kind of questions.
How old were you?
Hit you. I must have been 21, 22 years of age when all this took place. In fact, I still remember one of my senior instructor. He was wing commander. He had 4,000 hours of flying.
Sure.
So he told me, I have 4,000, I have never ejected. How come you have ejected? So that puts you down even more.
Right, sir.
So that is when fear hits you. But then I was okay. There is no problem. Those days, there was no MRI.
Sir.
There was no CT scan and things like that.
Sir.
Only X-ray, that is what used to be done.
Okay.
So next day, one hilarious anecdote, in fact, those days were no mobile days.
Sir.
So because I had ejected, it might come in the media. So I rang up from a landline my uncle here in Pasighat, who is the father of the ex-MLA of Pasighat. Now he is the BJP president, Sri Kaling Moyam. So I rang him up and told him that this is what has happened. And in civil life, they don't understand what ejection is. So I explained to them that plane, something wrong has happened. I came down by parachute. But I'm okay. No bones broken and all. So next day was 1st April. So my uncle also did not understand properly. He came to the house and told my parents. laughingly, this is what happened.
1st April.
So they all thought, this April is full. So no one took it seriously.
Right,
But then it came out in the media.
Right.
Those days in the print media, in the newspaper, which was received, say, 2-3 days later.
Right.
So that is one of my second birthday, what I call.
Sir.
So it's a very interesting, especially I went through. Of course, there are many other things connected.
Sir.
But this is what. But after that, after you eject, then I went to. They referred me to Command Hospital in Kolkata.
Sir.
I went there, took a review X-ray. But okay, I was cleared for flying again.
Right, sir.
So now there is a hesitation to get back into the cockpit.
Yeah, that why I wanted to know, sir.
অলপমান ভয় লাগি যায় মানে এতিয়া মই ইজেকশ্যন কৰি আহিছো আকৌ ককপিটত সোমালে কি হ'ব জানো আৰু এবাৰ হ'লে কি হ'ব
নৰ্মেল এক্সিডেণ্টত যেটো হয় গাড়ী এখন হলেও আমাৰ আকৌ চলাবলৈ ভয় লাগে
অলপমান ভয় তো লিটল বিট অফ ফিয়াৰ
right sir
so but I started and can you imagine I took these trophies after this so the
after ejection
first in order of merit and then best in flying
okay
so all this I took even after that so we Hunters was a very nice experience and it was used in the 65 war and the 71 war extensively so बहुत ভাল experience या नाइके plane to बहुत ভাল plane असली चलाबले
I'll again come back to the same sir like kiba monot thake neki that unconsciousness
so that see I have ejected twice
right sir
so I am having 3 birthdays actually so in the third when I was ejecting I was in my senses when I was tumbling across
that is which aircraft sir
on Jaguar
right
it was a trainer I ejected in 1997
sir
26 February over Barmer it is in Rajasthan
sir
Uttarlai boli ko ami
yeah
so there we ejected 2 of us my colleague he is now presently in Indigo
sir
he is from Jaipur Parik
right sir
both of us ejected so that is the time I was tumbling in the air I was conscious so maybe my body has now accustomed to that ejection and or maybe the seats have become better the ejection seats
okay
instead of suddenly building up the G they gradually build it up and
right,
maybe trying to help you out to have less stress on the spinal cord
sir
and your backbone
sir
so but I was conscious when I was tumbling in the air and of course the same sequence took place which I explained to earlier
right sir
only thing that the only difference was that we fell into sand dunes
okay
so sand dunes is almost
but
like Parikheti
right
so it cushion our impact and my colleague Parik was bleeding very badly in his knee but we hugged we embraced each other
sir
and we went over to the wreckage of the plane and we cursed it. You should have waited for 1 minute, we would have landed. So, and then, of course, then we went through a very, it's very hilarious one anecdote in that Barmer ejection.
Sir.
So, when we fell, there is this famous black buck case.
Right, sir.
You know black bucks, na? Chinkara.
Yeah.
So, they are not allowed to be, they preserve them, the local population there.
Yeah.
So when we were coming with parachute, seeing us, the chinkaras ran from below,
Right, sir.
trying to avoid our impact.
Sir.
Hundreds of them. No, they are running away.
Sir.
Trying to avoid the impact of the parachute.
Right.
And then at the same time, it happened near base. You could see the site.
Sir.
So all the crossfire tenders and rescue vehicles,
Sir.
they tried to come to us and they all got stuck in that sand dunes. They had to be recovered back. Of course, again, helicopter came to
right, sir.
pick us up. And by this time, I was already married.
Sir.
And my wife was doing internship in Lady Hardin's Medical College,
Okay.
Delhi.
Okay, sir.
So, coincidentally, that is the time she had rung up on the landline phone. And one of my colleagues had picked up.
Sir.
And they just connecting the dots.
Sir.
So, this is my third birthday. So called.
So she missed you, sir.
She got shocked.
Right.
In fact, those days there was no mobile. In fact, thereafter she rang up one of my seniors who was in air headquarters, Vayu Sena.
Sir.
Actually, Vayu Sena got to know about my ejection from my wife.
Sir. So I think in the desert it is much easier to locate when you come down, basically.
Better.
Yeah.
And nowadays, you see, there are technology where once you eject, automatically your position is given out to a satellite.
Okay.
this kind of incident has taken place.
Right, sir.
And then it is easy to do search and rescue
Sir.
nowadays, not like earlier.
Sir.
So where they sometimes you have to search for days,
Right, sir.
There are cases of pilots who are lost in the jungles of Bhutan.
Yeah.
And they are never found.
Especially in the northeast.
In the northeast or in the Brahmaputra.
Right, sir.
Where they fall, they are never found. Only
one
takes few
senior-
months or days to find the wreckage
Right, sir.
or where it is.
In fact, one of my senior Dhankar, the aircraft is still not found. Sir.
Correct.
Right. So after Hunters, sir, then you went to Jaguars.
Yeah. So the route those days was whoever went to MiG-21s, from there they will go to MiG-29, MiG-23, MiG-27, like that. So that was a line, Russian line.
Right, sir.
And we are the Western line.
Sir.
So Western line to follow was from Hunters, we went to Jaguar. So I got posted to Ambala.
Right.
So 14 Squadron. Bulls, we used to call ourselves, fighting 14.
Did you also serve with, sir, Air Marshal Borbora, sir?
Air Marshal Borbora, I served with the Air Force together, but we are not in the same squadron, though he's also ex-Jaguar pilot.
That's why I asked, sir, actually.
He's an ex-Jaguar pilot. And I got posted to Ambala, and there I started flying the Jaguar. Jaguar is one of the finest aircraft for low-level flying.
Sir.
Fantastic. She's so stable as a rock.
Right, sir.
And for low-level flying and for strike missions, it is a fantastic aircraft.
Right, sir.
And I got 1,000 hours plus on Jaguars.
Sir.
So I spent around 4.5 years in Ambala flying Jaguars.
Okay, sir.
So there flew all over Punjab, Kashmir, presently what is going on there. Then Avantipura, Leh Ladakh, Himachal
Which
Pradesh,
years of this
Punjab.
was?
This is 91 to 95.
95. Okay.
In fact, I got married when I was in Ambala. My daughter is born in Ambala.
Okay, sir.
So Ambala, we had very fond memories, very nice place.
Yes.
And we enjoyed our time there. And from Ambala, I achieved all my initial fighter achievements there.
Were you with, there was one wing commander, Borbora,
Sanjeev Borbora.
right, Dibrugarh.
He is presently group captain. He's in Indigo presently.
Right, sir. He's your...
Group captain. He's also based in Dibrugarh.
Right.
So we served in the same squad together.
He's your senior or, sir?
He's my senior. He's very, very senior to me.
He was my CFI, sir. You know.
Oh, CFI.
In Bidar, sir.
Bidar. So we served in Gorakhpur in 27 squad together.
Right, right.
Flaming arrows.
Okay.
Flying Jaguars.
Right.
So his family, his children, very well known. In fact, his son is a fighter pilot.
Oh, I didn't know
Anurag.
that. Oh, I didn't know that.
Fighter pilot in the Air Force.
Okay, okay.
So very fond memories with all of them. So when in Ambala, I volunteered to serve in Siachen Glacier. So that was in 1992.
Right, sir.
So I stayed for a month in Northern Glacier,
Okay.
the most extreme of conditions.
Okay.
So there's a battalion headquarters called Kumar.
Sir.
So I served there. So we had to acclimatize and go.
Right, sir.
So we spent 3 days in Leh, then 3 days in Thois,
Okay.
then 3 days in base
You
camp.
didn't go by helicopter?
No, you have to acclimatize because
Right, sir.
altitudes are high,
Sir.
oxygen content is less,
Sir.
and your body, unless it is accustomed,
Right.
you will have what is called hypo.
So I from MiG-21s, I was in Chetak Cheetah, sir. I have flown in Leh.
You flown?
Yes, sir.
Oh, lovely place to fly.
Right, sir.
You flew from Leh?
Leh, sir. So I was posted for
Shock Valley, Nubra Valley.
Yeah, sir, absolutely.
And you flew over Siachen?
Sir, I was posted for a very short time. I was medically boarded out there, sir.
So then in Kumar, I stayed with 15 Mahar
Right, sir.
in the battalion headquarters. And fantastic, you can say it is a cold desert.
Sir, absolutely.
Only 2 colors, black and white, temperatures minus 20 to minus 40 degrees.
Sir.
And altitude is 16,500 feet.
Sir.
And every day some firing incident taking place, some artillery fires being exchanged across.
Okay, sir.
And I remember a very hilarious incident when I was in Siachen. In Australia, World Cup was going on, cricket.
Okay.
So in the league matches, India beat Pakistan. So, you know, from our side, we fired some 50 rounds of artillery towards Pakistan, you know. And, you know, that time Pakistan won the World Cup led by Imran Khan.
Okay, 92.
And they fired some 100 rounds from there.
After winning.
So, luckily, we are in the shadow area.
Right, sir.
And this is all, you know, some humor in this in uniform.
Right, right.
But hats off, Chechen was an eye-opener. We used to stay in igloos.
Sir.
Everything needs to be heated up.
Sir.
Your fruity needs to be heated up. Your eggs need to be heated up. Powdered eggs are used, in fact.
Sir.
And the commode.
Sir.
You cannot sit directly on the commode. It will take your skin away.
Right, sir.
So the commode needs to be heated up. Then the commode is all frozen because of the temperature. You have to defreeze the ice.
I understand.
And by pouring kerosene, then everybody smells of kerosene. And in fact, if some emergency takes place, the first thing people take is not the rifle, is the stove. Because without a stove, you will die.
Can also, yeah.
And so, very tough conditions. Very, I think it's a lifetime experience for me, Chechen Glacier.
During our times, the Israeli huts had come. So those are much better, sir.
Those days where these jackets, we used to call them dawn jackets and dawn trousers.
Sir.
Without that, you could not survive that harsh cold.
Sir.
And the boots were also as if you were moonwalking. No? Right. The triple layered Koflach. I still remember the company. Koflach shoes.
Okay.
But we had a lot of fun because we used to exchange the radio with the forces across, with the Pakistanis.
Other side.
And we used to hear them talk, and we used to sometimes talk with them.
Right.
But great. Chechen was a very good experience. And there, the nature, this earth reminds you that nature is the enemy there.
Sir.
It is so harsh. Living conditions are so harsh.
Sir.
It's difficult. To drink water, we had to cut these blocks of ice.
Right.
And drag it.
Sir.
And then you have to boil that to have water.
Absolutely.
It was so difficult for the life.